Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we try to cut through the noise and really get to the core insights. Today, we're zeroing in on Homewood, Alabama. It's a community that, well, it just keeps popping up for its great quality of life. We're going to do a real deep dive into its real estate market, its culture, what makes the community tick, specifically looking at how things stand as we wrap up August 2025. And our guide for this, we've got this fantastic local market brightness reports from Realtor Stacy, someone with like over 15 years boots on the ground experience right there in Homewood. So this isn't just abstract data. It feels really authentic, a genuinely local take. Our mission today is pretty clear. Figure out what makes Homewood shine right now. Everything from its charming traditions to the hard market stats and really what it all means for you. Okay, let's unpack this. So looking at Stacy's report, what's the first thing that jumps out at you about Homewood's, well, its unique position?
Well, host, what's fascinating here is exactly that. The huge value you get from looking at a place like Homewood through different lenses, not just the numbers, right? This report does a great job weaving together the why. Why is it so desirable? And yeah, it frames everything pretty positively. And I think our goal here is to really explore the reasons behind that optimism, understand how the community, the culture, the local economy, how they're not just side by side, but actually deeply intertwined.
I totally agree. And that why really starts with Homewood's charm, doesn't it? It's got this enduring appeal. Try to picture this, a place that somehow manages to feel like a warm small town, but also has all the perks of being near a city. That's Homewood. It's nestled right at the foot of Red Mountain, but you're literally minutes from downtown Birmingham. You feel it right away, this really welcoming, family-friendly vibe. Great schools, everyone mentions those. And the neighborhoods, safe, leafy, very walkable. You get the sense people actually connect there. And that connection, it flows right into the local culture, too. Like you get your show at the Homewood Theater, see some local talent. Or, it's a short drive to the historic Alabama Theater if you want something bigger. The food scene is really diverse, too. You've got your cozy spots with, like, farm-to-table Southern food, but also trendier places, international stuff, and shopping places like the Brass Bear, Soho Retro. Little unique spots for finding cool things. It really sounds like a place where neighbors become friends, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this is where we get beyond just pleasantries.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's
That's
this
cool.
like strong community fabric. It isn't just nice, it's fundamental. It's the bedrock. When you have local arts, independent restaurants, unique shops when they're core anchors, not just amenities, they actually become drivers. Tangible drivers of stable, long-term property value. The report makes a strong case that when people are actively invested in their community life, that lifestyle quality, it directly translates into investment security. It makes perfect sense. It creates the quality of life that, yes, attracts new people, but crucially, it helps keep them there. Retention is key. And you mentioned walkability. Homewood's commitment to green spaces adds to that. Patriot Park, Shades Creek Greenway, they encourage getting outside, being active, another layer of appeal. Plus, you can't ignore the fundamentals, those top-tier public schools, the low crime rates, being close to attractions like Vulcan Park. These aren't just bullet points. There are real benefits that keep demand steady. They make people want to put down roots.
That's a really powerful connection. Active community investment building actual real estate security.
I like that framing. And it's not just the physical stuff that's there, right? It's also about what's happening. Homewood's calendar seems packed, especially now with summer turning into fall. September 2025 looks busy. Lots of chances to, connect, celebrate, make some memories. You've got Labor Day stuff on September 1st, picnics, music, games in the parks. Sounds fun. Then mid-month, the Homewood Chamber of Commerce networking event. That's September 9th, bringing local businesses and residents together. That touches on the local commerce you mentioned.
Fostering those connections.
Exactly. And, well, it's Alabama, so you need Friday night lights. Homewood High football kicks off his home game September 5th. Big community spirit there, tailgates and all that. Plus, some culture, there's a Sacred Places exhibit at a local gallery that runs into September. And looking just a bit ahead, early fall brings We Love Homewood Day, which sounds like a big deal. And Homewood Magazine is already previewing harvest markets and Halloween stuff. That calendar does sound incredibly rich, really seems to build that community spirit we've been talking about. But let me play devil's advocate for a second. For someone thinking about buying a home there, how much does a Labor Day picnic or, a high school football game really impact their property value? Is it just about feeling good, or does it actually, move the needle financially?
That's a fair question.
Yeah, it raises that important point.
Right.
How does this kind of community engagement translate into actual tangible value for homeowners and residents?
Well, an active events calendar like Homewood's, it really contributes to what you might call community stickiness. These events, they strengthen the social ties, they reinforce why the area is desirable, and they cultivate that vibrant local culture we keep mentioning.
Hmm.
It makes Homewood a place people don't just live in. They feel genuinely invested. They want to stay. And that feeling, that stability, it directly supports long-term value in the real estate market. It's a clear signal of a healthy, engaged community. And that's always attractive to potential buyers, right? It signals a stable, desirable place to live. Okay, so we've painted a pretty vivid picture of Homewood's heart, its community vibe. But to really get the full picture, we need to see how that translates economically. How resilient is it? So let's pull back the curtain on the numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting. The report shows the Homewood market in August 2025 isn't just appearing emotionally, it's showing real strength financially. If you look wider, Alabama statewide actually saw a healthy jump in home sales in July 2025. That 2.1% increase year over year, over 5,600 closings. So there's a broader trend of growth and recovery happening, and Homewood seems to be riding that wave. The report gives Homewood a score of 61 out of 100 on competitiveness. What does that 61 actually tell us about the market feel? Is it frantic? Balanced?
Yeah, that 61 is pretty informative. Just for context, when you see scores up at 80 or 90, that often means, crazy bidding wars, buyers getting shut out fast. A 61, especially for a place like Homewood, suggests it's definitely in demand, highly desirable, but it's still more balanced. Buyers actually have some choices. They're not feeling completely steamrolled by competition. And sellers, they're seeing good, strong interest. It's a healthy tension. Now let's hit the core numbers for August 2025. The median home value in Homewood is sitting at a pretty robust $472,180. And what's really key here is that this is up 5.2% over the past year. That's healthy appreciation.
Wow, 5.2%.
Yeah.
That's solid.
It really is. It underscores that ongoing desirability and, frankly, the potential for long-term investment gains. Also, inventory levels have ticked up a bit, which is good news for buyers. Around 78 homes currently listed for sale, so more options combined with interest rates sort of stabilizing. It's creating a more balanced market that feels like it's warming up nicely for everyone involved. Homes are getting about $239 per square foot, showing consistent demand. And days on market. Properties are typically selling in about 125 days.
125 days. How does that compare? Is it fast, slow?
It's actually kind of a sweet spot, isn't it? It's enough time for serious buyers to really look, make decisions, get their financing sorted, but it's short enough that it signals a healthy, active market. Sellers can feel confident things are moving, but it's not that frantic, overheated pace you see elsewhere.
Those numbers definitely paint a positive picture. Growth, stability, it seems pretty clear. But let me ask you this. That strong appreciation, that 5.2% jump, for someone thinking about moving to Homewood, could that signal a risk? Like, are prices maybe getting ahead of themselves, becoming unsustainable? Or is this growth genuinely tied to lasting value?
That's a really smart question. And it's definitely something savvy buyers and investors think about. What the report suggests, based on its forecast, is steady growth, not like runaway growth. Median prices might hit around 411,938 acres by the end of the year. Now, remember, that's a median across all kinds of properties. And the forecast sees continued climbing through 2030. So solid returns seem likely for investors, but without those scary speculative bubbles we sometimes worry about. And to your point about lasting value, yes, the growth seems tied to those deep fundamentals we keep circling back to. The excellent schools, low crime, that amazing community life, the location. These aren't fleeting things. They provide a really strong foundation. So it supports more sustainable long-term appreciation rather than just short-term market spice. That makes it attractive for, first-time buyers and families may be looking to upgrade. It's about real value, not just temporary hype.
That context is super helpful. Okay, let's make this even more real. Let's look at some actual sales, some real-world deals that happened between August 1st and August 27th, 2025. The sales activity, according to the report, was definitely vibrant. It lines up with that statewide bounce back in Homewood's own energy. Preliminarily, looks like about 20 to 25 homes closed just in that roughly 4-week period, which interestingly puts the annual pace on track to actually beat last year's numbers.
So momentum is building.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the median sale price for those August closings, it stayed pretty consistently in that $439,000 to $472,000 range. Shows stability, solid value. Let's spotlight a couple of examples they pulled out. On the higher end, there was a nice 4-bedroom home right in the heart of Homewood. It sold for $602,250. Yeah. And get this, that was apparently a 25.3% premium over similar homes just the month before.
That's significant. Shows strong demand at that level.
Definitely. Then, for families maybe looking for something a bit more accessible, a charming 3-bedroom bungalow over in West Homewood went for $356,000. The report noted it was actually down just a tiny bit year over year, but they still called it an excellent value for that specific neighborhood, which is known to be competitive.
Right. Context matters there. Still strong value.
And even at the entry level, starter homes were averaging around $349,900. And those were apparently closing quickly, really showing that buyer enthusiasm for Homewood's overall package, the amenities, the relative affordability compared to some other areas.
These specific examples really do illustrate Homewood's wide appeal, don't they, across different price points. And what's really crucial to grasp here is how those strong community fundamentals we talked about, the great schools, safety, the culture, how they lead to properties just selling consistently, often faster. So even if one particular sale, like that West Homewood bungalow, is technically down slightly compared to the peak last year, it still represents really strong value within a highly desirable, competitive neighborhood. It's all relative. It just reinforces that the market there really does cater to a broad range of needs: luxury, family homes, entry level. And it does it while maintaining healthy activity. It proves that Homewood real estate isn't just a one-size-fits-all game. There's diversity there.
Well, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it feels abundantly clear that Homewood, Alabama really is standing out. Especially as we look back at August 2025, it comes across as this thriving haven: culture, community, smart real estate. It seems to have that mix. It's that unique blend, isn't it? The charming local traditions, the busy events calendar, the positive market trends we saw, and the solid sales data backing it up. It all comes together to make this suburb a really compelling place to think about. It kind of makes you reflect, you know? What does make a place truly thrive, truly shine brighter?
Indeed. I think what we've really explored today is a fascinating case study. It's about synergy. The synergy between, strong community engagement, the lifestyle amenities people want, and genuine economic resilience. It really highlights the lasting value you get from investing not just in bricks and mortar, but in a community that actively works to build itself up and celebrates itself. So maybe this deep dive into Homewood leaves us all with a thought-provoking question to mull over. What specific elements of community strength, of market health, really resonate with your priorities when you think about where to live or invest? And how does Homewood's story, its particular blend, align with or maybe challenge those expectations?